quiet advance, the Krillion Empire had dominated the Orion Arm for 3 centuries, their capital world. Chios Prime rested at the center of a web spanning 37 colonized star systems, each guarded by the most sophisticated defense network the galaxy had ever witnessed. The Krillions were a noble race, towering beings with shimmering scales that caught the glint of far-off suns, and 6-fingered hands capable of crafting wonders others couldn't even imagine. For generations, they had declared their supremacy. Grand Admiral Vexter frequently reminded his war council that not a single enemy ship had breached Krillion territory in over 2 centuries. The barrier, as their shield network was named, was thought unbreakable, a mesh of quantum detectors, gravity-triggered mines, and self-operating defense platforms that extended like an invisible shield around their territory. Lesser races will learn. Their place Vexer had declared during the Masterson Assembly of Worlds, the Krillion Empire stands eternal inconquerable.
Inconquerable.
Many species had tried Tokalenginum. Many had failed. The Axon attempted a direct assault.
Agathir.
70 years Agathir fleet was reduced. 2 atoms before they crossed the outer perimeter. Thieves Spid Collective tried stealth tactics 30 years later. Their ships were detected and destroyed within minutes. The barrier did not fail until today. Commander Maya Chen stood on the bridge of the HSS Phantom, her hands clasped tightly behind her back as she stared at the main view screen. The darkness of space-filled display, punctuated only by the distant stars and the faint outline of Chios Prime on the far edge of their sensor status report, she said. Her voice steady despite the tension nodding in her stomach. Lieutenant Park glanced up from his console. Stealth systems operating at 99.7%. Efficiency. Commander, quantum signature dampeners are stable as far as Krillions know. We're just background radiant. Maya nodded, allowing herself the smallest smile. The Phantom was humanity's greatest achievement, their salt of a decade of reversey engineering Krillion technology, salvage it from border skirmishes. Unlike the bulky battleships in Earth's main fleet, the Phantom was sleep designed not for a direct confrontation but for infiltration. We're approaching the 5th layer of the barrier, reported Non. Rodriguez. Gravimetric minds ahead. Maya moved to the tactical station, studying the holographic display. Thalmines floated like spectral orbs in Thevoid, designed to detect the mass of any passing vessel and detonate with an E-force to tear apart even the most thievily armored ships. Initiate mass HIFT protocols, Maya ordered. Commander Aiden Hayes, her executive officer, looked up from his station. Mass shift active, where now registering as on 10th or actual mass. This was the first test off. Phantom's revolutionary technology 3 principle was simple: manipulate the ship's apparent mass to fool Thekarillion sensors. In practice, it required calculations and energy manipulation that would have been impossible. Just 5 years ago, the bridge crew fell silent as the Phantom glide between the mines one by one. They possessed deadly spheres without triggering a single detonation. We're through the minefield, Rodriguez announced, tension evident in her voice. Maya didn't celebrate, yet they were still far from their objective, and the hardest part lay ahead: the war between humanity and Thekarillion. It began when human colonist Anar of Krillion Territorial established an outpost on the planet Talos I. Why the Krans responded with mediate and overwhelming force, destroying not only the Talos colony, but 3 other human settlements as a warning. Earth unified as never before, but the technological gap was vast. While human ingenuity had produced remarkable advances, the Krillion Empire's head start of centuries seemed insurmountable. Humanity had been pushed back to a handful of core systems there. Colonia Systemali, dismantled by Krillion War. Flitz. The Phantom mission was humanity's desperate gamble, a final attempt to bring the fight to the enemy's doorstep. Commander Hayes called out, "We're detecting automated defense platforms ahead, thousands of them." The main screen shifted, displaying a cloud of small, angular objects arrayed in a complex, 3-dimensional pattern. Each platform was equipped with energy weapons and short-range interceptors. "This is it," Maya said. "Thinner defense layer activate. Phase shift technology." The lights on the bridge dimmed. This power was diverted to the Phantom's most advanced system. Unlike crude cloaking devices of earlier human vessels, Phase shift technological, tunnel of the quantum state of the entire ship allowing it to exist partially out of a phase with normal space-time chief engine. Engineer Takahashi's voice came athrough. The CUM system phase shifts stable at 82%. Commander, we can maintain this stay for 17 minutes before Thepyor cells are depleted. That should. But now Maya replied, take us through, Ensign. Rodriguez minimum propulsion. The Phantom moved forward. Its partiella phase shifted, state rendering it nearly invisible to conventional sensors. The defense platforms remained dormant as the human vessels slipped past their watchful electronic eyes for 10 minutes. The bridge crew barely breathed as they navigated through the most sophisticated NONS network ever created when they finally emerged on the other side. Hayes let out a long, slow breath. I can't believe it worked, he whispered. Maya allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Ever underestimate human determination, Commander? Hayes the Phantom had accomplished what no other Nan vessel had in centuries. It had breached Theberair, but their mission was just beginning. Return to normal phase, May ordered. Restore power to tactical and weapon systems as the ship solidified back into normal space-time. The main view screen adjusted to show the gleaming blue-green world of Kios Prime. Unlike Earth, with its single moon, the Krillion homeworld was orbited by 3 moons each, housing massive military installations and shipyards. Objective located, announced Lieutenant Park. The central command station is in geosynchronous orbit on the far side off the planet. The central command station was the nerve center of the entire Krillion military. According to intelligence gathered by human spies, it contained the quantum processors that coordinated the barrier if they could disable it even temporarily. The human fleet waiting at the edge of the system could advance. Set course for the command CUM station, Maya ordered. Maintain stealth protocols. The Phantom accelerated silently toward its target, but Maya knew their luck wouldn't hold forever. The closer they got to Kios Prime, the more intense the sensor coverage would become. Commander parkled out suddenly. I'm detecting energy spics, multiple vessels on intercept course. The view screen shifted to show 5 Krillion warships, massive vessels with distinctive crescent-shaped holes moving to form a blockade. They've detected us, Hayes said, his face grim. Maya shook her head. No, this is a standard patrol pattern. They haven't altered course to intercept us specifically. She studied the tactical display, but we can't avoid them without significant course deviation. A tense silence fell over the bridge as the crew awaited her decision. Maintain course, Maya L said. Prepare all weapon systems. See if they detect us, we fight. The Phantom contend, its approach silent as a ghost. The Krillion patrol vessels drew closer for several minutes. It seemed they might pass unnoticed, then alarms blared across the bridge. Energy surged from the lead Kron ship. Rodriguez howled. They're activating scanning beams. Evasive maneuvers, Maya ordered. The Phantom veered sharply, but it was too late. The scanning beam swept across their position, and immediately Theklian vessels changed formation. Weapons charging. We've been detected. A confirmed stealth systems compromised. Maya's expression hardened. Then there's no reason to hide anymore. Disengage stealth systems and divert all power to shields and weapons. Open a channel to all Krillion ships. Park looked set a channel. Commander, if we're going to fight, I want them to know exactly what they're fighting. As the stealth field dropped, the Phantom's true form became visible, a sleek midnight black vessel like any in Earth's known fleet. Ataliel was etched with glowing blue lines that pulsed with energy as Thuipan systems came online. Channel open, Park announced. Maya stood tall facing view screen. This is Commander Maya Chen of the human stellar ship Phantom. Your empire attacked our colonies without provocation and has waged a war of extinction against my species today, weathering the fight to your doorstep. Their response was immediate, a barrage of energy weapons fire from all 5 Krillion ships. The Phantom shuddered. Asked first. Folly struck at shields holding at 87%. Reported head steer weapons are powerful, but they weren't expecting resistance this close to home. Maya nodded. Target the lead vessels. Propulsion systems fire went ready. The Phantom's main cannons discharge, sending brilliant beams off concentrated energy toward the Krillion flagship. The shots connected with surgical precision, disabling the larger vessel's engines without destroying it. Completely direct hit. Hayes confirmed. Their flagship is dead in space. The remaining Krillion ships adjusted their formation, surrounding the Phantom from multiple angles, their coordinating there. Attack. Maya observed evasive pattern delta target their weapons Sares. The Phantom spun and woe between enemy fire its advanced propulsion systems, giving it maneuverability that larger Krillion warships couldn't match each time it came about it. Fired precision shots that gradually degraded the enemy's offensive capabilities, butt crans. Adapted quickly when direct fire proved ineffective, they launched a swarm of automated attack drones. Hundreds of small, fast-moving weapons platforms that threatened to overwhelm Phantom's defenses through sheer numbers. Point defense systems engage. Rodriguez reported as the Phantom secondary weapons activated, filling the space around the ship. With defensive fire, we can't keep this up indefinitely, Hayes warned more Krillion ships, responding to the alert. Maya knew he was right. They had achieved the element off surprise by penetrating the barrier, but no, they were surrounded by enemies. On their home territory, set course for the central command station. She ordered maximum speed. We complete our mission no matter the cost. The Phantom surged forward, taking hits as it plunged toward its objective. The shields flickered into repeated strikes. But the human vessel pressed on, leaving disabled Krillion ships in its wake as they approached the massive battle station. Maya turned to her executive officer. Commander Hayes, prepare the package for delivery. Hayes nodded, accessing a secured console epicoge. Armed and ready, Commander. Maya took a deep breath. The Phantom has done his job. We've proven the Krillion's aeronaut invincible now. We show them weapons when you corner humanity. The central command station loomed ahead, its defenses fully activated and ready for the human intruder that had dared to violate Kron space. The human factor alarms blared throughout the Kron Central Command Station as the impossible unfolded on their monitors. A human vessel, sleek, dark, and deadly, had not only breached the barrier, but was now engaging their home defensively with alarming activeness. Inside the station's command center, grand and Miro Vexter scales flashed, crimson with rage. How is this possible? He demanded, uring over his subordinates. No alien ship has penetrated our defenses in centuries. Senior tactician Xyla studieth battle data with 4 of her 6 size, while the other 2 remained fixed in her commander. The human vessel is employing technologies we believe beyond their capabilities. They appear to have adapted elements of our own defensive systems against us. Vexer slammed, Essex fingered hand on the command console. Impossible. The humans are primitive, barely a century into interstellar travel. They cannot have mastered phase-shifting technology. Evidently they have, Velna replied, her voice calm despite her commanders. Fury and they are heading directly for this station. Aboard the Phantom, Commander Maya Chen watched Asher's ship took increasingly heavy fire. Shield were down to 41% and system failures were being reported across all decks. Commander Vev got multiple breaches on decks 3 and 4. Lieutenant Park reported emergency force fields are holding. But we're taking critical damage. Maya nodded grimly. Maintain course. How long until where? In range of the station, 2 minutes, 17 seconds, Rodriguez responded, her hands flying over the navigation control controls as she executed another evasive maneuver. Commander Hayes approached Maya, speaking in a low voice. The package is ready, but we need to get closer. Carantrange is still outside optimal deal of error parameters. We'll get there, Maya assured him, though her eyes betrayed her concern as another volley of Krillion fire rocked the ship. The Phantom had been designed for this single mission to deliver a specially designed quantavirus directly into the heart of Thekrilon defense network. If successful, it would temporarily disable the barrier, reloading the human fleet to enter the system and force the Krillions to the negotiating table. Additional Krillion battle cruisers entering weapons range. Park announced we're being surrounded. Maya studied the tactical display. The Phantom had fought brilliantly, Disablinger, severely damaging 7 Krillion vessels, but now a dozen more were closing and forming a sphere around the human ship to trap it in a field of crossfire. They're adapting to our maneuvers. Hay observed their target tinges becoming more precise. A massive impact shook the bridge, sending sparks flying from a secondary console. Direct hit. Rodriguez called out shields at 29% and failing. Maya made her decision, initiate protocol. Omega Hayes looked Ether sharply. Commander, we haven't reashed the optimal position. We won't get any closer in one piece, Maya replied. Executeth. Protocol Commander Hayes. Hesitated briefly before nodding. A commander initiating Protocol Omega. Inside the Krillion Command Center, Vexor watched, with growing satisfaction as his fleet closed in on the human intruder they air-trapped. He declared, "No escape is possible, I want. That ship disabled Butte intact. Their technology must be studied thin. We will finish what we started and eradicate their species entirely." Zelo is about to respond when a new alert sounded. "Grand Admiral, the human vessel is changing on the main display." The Phantom's sleek form appeared to shimmer its hull plates, shifting andro-configuring sections of the vessel separated, revealing hidden compartment throughout.
Ow.
Its structure, what trick? Why is this Vexor demanded before anyone couldn't swear the Phantom. Explosive Lydisim bomb, not in destruction, but in purposeful transformation. What had been a single battleship suddenly became hundreds of smaller vessels, each barrel illiger than a shuttle impossible. Vex Tor whispered. Maya Chen now sat in the command seat of a much smaller craft, ONF 378, identical vessels that had composite modular structure of the Phantom. Each miniship contained a portion of the original crew and was equipped with its own propulsion shields and affragment of the quantum virus. All units report status, she ordered through the newly established tactical network. 1B1 confirmations came in from Theother section commanders. The disassembly had been nearly perfect with only 7 units reporting significant damage, begging dispersal. Pattern, Maya? Commander, remember your assigned targets. The swarm of human vessels scattered in all directions, confounding the Krillion targing systems that had been focused in. A single large enemy, the Krillion fleet, caught by surprise, fired desperately at the suddenly multi-pleed dreet. From the command station, Vexor watched in horror as the human swarm penetrated his defense screen, they turned their ship into a fleet. Zelna explained, her voice betraying her emotion. Each component is independently control, yet they maintain perfect coordination. Destroy them, Vex. Tor roared. All ships, all weapons, destroy them. Albeit the human micro-vessels were too small, too fast, and too numerous. They darted between the Kellen ships, some taking hits and exploding, while others pressed on toward the command station and various points throughout the Krillion defense network. Maya's vessel rest toward the central hub of the station, dodging defensive fire with practice precision. We're approaching the primary data node. Hayes reported 30 seconds to optimal delivery position. Maya nodded. Prepare the virus fragment for upload. We get one shot at this. As they closed in on their target, a Krillion interceptor appeared directly in their path, its weapons charged in divisive action. Maya ordered, but she knew they couldn't veer off course. Not now. Not when they were so close. Weapons locked. Hazan announced calmly, "Fire everything." I omitted their small vessels, weapons discharged, striking the Krillion interceptor head-on. The larger ship shuddered under the impact, but remained intact. Yet the momentary disruption to its systems gave Maya's ship the opening it needed. We're in position. Hayes confirmed. Upload the virus. Maya order ready. Activated the quantum transmissions. Dinged the fragment of the virus directly into the Krillion network route the system. Other human vessels were doing the same, each delivering their portion of the compelled code too. Different nodes of the barrier's control system inside the command center chows erupted as systems began failing. Cross-the-board defense network compromised. Acrylon technicians shouted. The barrier is collapsing. Vexor stared in disbelief at the main display, which showed the barrier thin, impenetrable shield that had protected Drillin space for centuries. Flickering danned, then disappearing entirely. "This cannot be happening," he said, his voice barely audible. Zilla's attention was drawn to another alert. Grand Admir, multiple gravitational distortions decked at the edge of the system. Ships are arriving, hundreds of them. The human fleet had been waiting just beyond the barrier, ready to advance the moment it fall, led by the massive Dreadin. HS Defiance, the Armada of Earth, entered Krillion space for the first time in history. Admiral Helena Winters, commander of the Human Expeditionary Force, stood on the bridge of the Defiance as it led the fleet toward Kilos Prime. The Phantom succeeded her. Tactical officer confirmed. The barrier is down and a red advance. 4 has confirmed multiple strikes on key Kellyanne defense installations. Winters nodded, hair expression solemn. Send the Messagith route, the Cillian system, on every frequency and in the Cillian language. Human message played. This is Admiral Helen Winters of the United Earth. Fleet, your defenses have been breached your home. World lies within range of our weapons, but unlike you, we do not seek extinction. We offer a choice immediate accession of hostilities and recognition of human territorial sovereignty or continuation of a war that is now being brought to your doorstep. You have 1 hour to respond in the command center. Receive the message with growing fury. They dare to threaten us in our own system. Xena studied the tactical display, which showed the human fleet's position relative to Kilo's. Prime and their remaining defenses. Grand Admiral, I must advise caution. Our primary defense has been neutralized. Half our home fleet is disabled or destroyed. The humans have a demonstrated technology and tactics wedded, not believe they possessed. Use a guess, surrender. Vex tourists, I suggest negotiation, Zella replied firmly. The humans could have targeted our civilian centers, but chose military installations instead. They offer terms rather than demanding. Unconditional, sir, were the so's restraint we have not accorded them. Vexter's scales shifted through a range of colors as he considered this situation. The Krillion Empire had never negotiated from a position of weakness. It was anathema to their cultural identity. Yet the alternative was potentially worse, a protracted battle in their home system, with an enemy who had already proven more resourceful than they had ever imagined. Maya Chen, her mission complete, watched from her small vessel as the human fleet took up positions throughout the Krillion system. Off the 378 ships that had comprised the Phantom, 214 had survived to rendezvous with the main fleet. The others had been lost in the attack there. Crew sacrificing themselves to ensure the mission's success. Commander Hayes said quietly, Admiral Winters is requesting your presence aboard the Defiance. It seems you'll be present for the negotiations if the Crans agree to talk. Maya nodded, still watching the distanglement of Kio's prime. They'll talk, they have no choice. Now do you think they'll honor any agreement? Hayes asked. After everything they've done, Maya turned to face him. That's not for us to decide. Our job was to bring them to the table, to show them that humanity isn't so easily exterminated. We've done that. As their small ship docked with the Defiance, Maya took one last look at the Krillion homeworld. The invincible empire had been proven vulnerable not by overwhelming force, but by human ingenuity and adaptability. 1 hour later, the Krillion response came through. They would negotiate in the Grand Council chamber. Board the Defiance, Maya stood alongside Admiral Winter as the Krillion delegation, led by a subdued Vexter, entered to begin peace talks. Grand Admiral's scales were immuted blue. The Krillion color of reluctant acceptance. You have achieved what we thought impossible, Vexter stated, looking directly at Maya. Your species has earned our attention, if not yet our respect. Admiral Winters stepped forward. We never wanted war, Grand Admiral. Humanity seeks to explore and build, not conquer, but we will defend ourselves, as we have prevented today. Vex Taurus for primary, eyes narrowed. Your demonstration has been edited. Let us discuss terms as the formal negotiations began. Maya thought back to the long journey thought had brought them here, the years off sacrifice, the countless lives lost, the desperate gamble that had finally paid off. The Killians had believed their defenses impenetrable, their empire untouchable. They had never considered that their greatest weakness wasn't in their technology, but in their thinking and their inability to imagine that a younger, less advanced species could innovate beyond their expectations. That was the human factor thun predicate, the creativity, their refusal to accept defeat even when facing overwhelming odds. It was what had brought them across the stars, unenthralled the barrier that no one had breached before. It was what would carry humanity forward into a future they would forge on their own terms.